Hi everybody, thanks for checking in and joining me. This is a full body workout. We're going to hit lower body, upper body, abdominals, the core area. You'll have a little bit of an increase in your heart rate just because you'll go through the movements fairly quickly. Of course, as always, you can use dumbbells, you can do the exercises without, and you can modify it in any way you need to, whether it's for time, if you only want to do half of the workout, you'll do what you need to do to make it fit for yourself. So I'm just going to go through and give you demonstrations of the exercises. And I will also show you a few things that you can do if you prefer not to go into the full range of motion. So what you'll do is 40 seconds of each exercise with a 20-second break. You will then move on to the next exercise and do the same thing. There are 4 sequences, so you will do the 4 exercises in sequence number 1. You will then go through that a second time. Then you will move on to sequence number 2. So it is 4 exercises in a sequence. Each exercise, 40 seconds of working, 20 seconds of break. Challenge yourself, find some heavier weights and kind of experiment. Maybe try just for 1 round with heavier weights and move on. So in sequence number 2, we first have a front deltoid lift. You're going to stand with your feet in a nice comfortable position. Some people will call it a set position. You're going to soften your knees a little bit and take that belly button. Think about tucking it in towards your spine. Your weights are going to come right here in front of you. Keep your shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. Front delt lift is lifting straight out in front of you, just about shoulder level. Okay? Those elbows are not locked. They are in a nice soft position. And you'll exhale and inhale. That is your front delt lift. Then you're going to do a lat pull back, or a delt pull back. We're going to take the arms, you're going to hold them straight out in front of you, again, about that shoulder level. Knees are soft, again, elbows are still soft. You'll keep your arms straight. You're going to extend straight out to the side and come back into the center. Your hands will stay in this same position. So you're not going to rotate the wrist or turn the palms up. They will stay facing down. So that is the pull back. Then exercise number 3 is putting those 2 together. So weights in the front, shoulders stay soft. You'll lift front, open out wide. You'll come center and down. Lift front, open out wide, come center and down. So you're actually working your shoulders here. You're going to feel it in the back. You'll probably feel it in quite a bit of the upper arms. And again, those abdominal muscles are strong. That's what keeps us nice and stable. Then we go on to a leg exercise, which is, in this round, is a curtsy lunge. I always like to remind people in my classes, when we do a curtsy lunge, if it is not comfortable for you for any reason, whether it hurts your knees, it hurts your hips, you're going to keep a regular stepping back lunge. You're going to go straight back. Follow that path. For those who want to do the curtsy lunge, just to kind of challenge yourself a little bit, you're going to take the leg back, you're going to step behind this other foot, and you're going to come back up and go to the other side. Okay, so this is your curtsy going back. This knee in the front stays above that heel or behind this toe line in the front. You push up through that heel, engaging the gluteal muscles. And again, if the curtsy doesn't work, you're going straight back. Okay, just a little different variation. So you'll repeat that a second time before you go on to sequence number 2, which we're going to do a preacher curl. For those of you who work in the weight room, a lot of you are used to doing it with your upper arms resting against a bench, and you're going to curl up and down. We're going to hold the position. So your feet under your hips, soften the knees. Let the hips drop back a little bit. Again, taking that belly button, tucking it in. Palms are up and the arms are extended out. You're going to curl up and lower. Come to that full extension. Let those arms come all the way out, contracting that bicep muscle, the very front of the arm. So that is your preacher curl. And again, if standing in this forward bend position, you can always come up out of it a little bit if it starts to bother your back. Then we have overhead tricep. You can hold 2 dumbbells, whether you hold them together and reach overhead, or you can take one heavier one, hold it between your hands and bring them overhead. I'm going to show you with both. I'm going to turn sideways. Knees are soft, belly button is in, arms are going to come overhead. Keep your elbows tucked in close to your head. Knees are soft. You're going to bend the elbows. They're going to come down behind your head. Press straight up towards the ceiling. Come back down, press straight up. As you extend, you want to focus on contracting this muscle right here in the back of the arm. Now, variation in the stance, sometimes people are more comfortable kind of in a staggered stance. It can take some stress off of that back. Then we have our bent arm side delt with an extension. So your elbows are bent at that 90-degree angle. And I open my fingers a lot because try to relax your fingers when you're using your dumbbells. You want to hold them firmly enough that you don't drop them, but you're not gripping them really hard. We're going to lift out to the side, again about shoulder level. You're going to extend the arms, you'll bend, come back in. So we're at that 90-degree angle when you bend here and you lower. So it's lift, extend, bend, and lower. The arm moves as one unit, meaning we're not lifting the elbows up first. Everything comes up together, so it's nice and clean. And again, working those shoulders. You're also going to feel a little bit in the biceps and the triceps, especially if you ramp up the weights. Next is a plie squat. Your feet are going to come wider than your hips. Your toes will face outward. When you squat, your knees are going to go the same direction as your toes. Again, with or without weights, you can have the weights here in front of you. You can rest them on your shoulders, whichever feels the most comfortable for you, or you can get rid of them altogether. But I really do want to encourage you to challenge yourself. So the weight is on those heels. You're going to lower into your squat. Then you're going to pulse 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to come back up. Down and pulse 3, 2. Push through the heels as you come up. Down and pulse 3, 2. Push through those heels, contract those thighs, working the inner thighs. So that is your lower body in this sequence. Again, 40 seconds of work, 20-second break. Move through each exercise, go back to number 1 in sequence 2, repeat the sequence, okay? Then we have a lat raise in sequence 3. So again, we're in that nice little set or comfortable position, feet under the hips, knees are soft, tummy is in, just kind of hinge forward a little bit. Arms are gonna come down, and I want you to turn your palms forward. Again, we don't wanna lock the elbows, they're soft. Tummy is in. You're going to lift up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then you're going to relax. Lift and squeeze and relax. As for where your eyes are focused, let them look slightly towards the floor, maybe about 3 feet out in front of you, just so we're not pushing back on the neck. Lift up, squeeze those shoulder blades. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So that is your lat raise. You're going to come up, take your little 20-second break, kind of let the back and the spine loosen up. If you'd like to rotate, you can do that. And then we have one more for the back. Again, we're coming forward. This time the arms are going to come down, straight down from your shoulders. Keeping that tummy tucked in. Palms are going to face each other this time. We're going to do a seesaw row. Same thing, one arm comes back, squeeze the shoulder blade, and then you're going to switch. So it's squeeze back and switch. Lift and lift. So from the front, my upper body, all that's moving is my arm, from my shoulders down in my arms. I'm not rotating up. Focus on squeezing that shoulder blade, working the lats as you pull back. So that is your seesaw rows. Then we have, I'm not 100% sure, I'll make sure I show you the right exercise here. We did seesaw rows. We're gonna do single leg deadlifts and then a wide squat. So your single leg deadlift, I'm gonna show you without weights. What I suggest you maybe try to help you is take your dumbbells or something and set it on the floor in front of you. Knees are soft. You're gonna take one leg back and just let the toe touch the floor. Firm this leg that you're balancing on. Again, keep your gaze towards the floor. As you hinge forward from this hip, you're gonna come forward. What you might wanna do is just kind of reach down for that, whatever it is you have there, whether it's your weight, you can put a water bottle there, anything that you wanna reach towards. But that movement is coming from this hip. So you're gonna hinge forward, and then you're gonna come back up. And you're gonna hinge forward and come back up. And I want you to do all one side. Don't take your break. Do your 40 seconds on the other side. How far you come forward all depends on you. You do not have to come into this full lift where the leg is up parallel to the hip. And if you'd like to use 1 or 2 dumbbells, they're just gonna rest right here in front of you. Same thing, tummy in, hinge forward, push into that heel as you come back up tall. Hinge forward and bring it back up. This also challenges your balance, so really focus on keeping the abdominals nice and strong, keeping those thighs, the gluteals, nice and firm on the leg that you're balancing on. So that is your hinge forward. And then we're gonna go to a wide squat. Now, just like curtsy lunge, if your feet wider than your hips is not comfortable for you, always remember, come back to your neutral position for your squats where your feet and your knees are under your hips. If you can, just kind of walk the feet out about 1 foot space. Tummy is in, again, weights can be here in front of you, they can be on the shoulders. You're gonna sink down into a squat, push into the heels as you come up. Sitting down and press up. As you come up, push up through those heels. Engage those gluteal muscles, the hamstrings. When you get to the top, contract those thighs. As for how deep you go into the squat, of course, into that nice deep squat is really going to give you a good let thigh workout. But if that range of motion is not there in the ankles, in the hips, if your legs just aren't quite strong enough yet to do that, you can modify it to where you need it to be. The most important thing I want you to remember is these knees stay right above that heel line and they don't come way over your toes, okay? Then sequence number 4, which is going to be on the floor, first starting with our push-up. And I have on this class a negative push-up. You may, though, always come onto your knees and do a modified push-up. So your hands are a little wide, very slightly wider than your shoulders. You're going to come down, push those heels of the hands into the floor. In a negative push-up, you're going to come up onto the toes. Tummy is in, lower your body all the way down, let the knees come down, press up. Onto the toes, come down, knees down, press up. Taking your time, don't rush through them. Up here, butt's tucked under. So we don't want to see this. We want the butt under, belly button in. Then those elbows come down, lower the knees, press up. That's your negative push-up. And remember, we can stay in modified if you need to. Remember, the butt's not here, it's down here, okay? Then we have one for the legs that we're actually gonna do sitting here on the floor. I wanna make sure I have it on here for you. Yep. So this is the seated leg lift. Your legs are going to come straight out in front of you. Bend one knee, the toes are up. Now again, here's where you can place your weight on the floor just to kind of give you a guide. As you sit up nice and tall, shoulders relax, the toes and the knees look up. You're going to lift up and back like a small arc. Working those quadriceps. You might feel a little bit in these hip flexor muscles. Okay, and then of course you will do the other side. So do your 40 seconds. Switch sides, just kind of move the dumbbell over. If you're using it, if you're not, that's okay, it's not important. Up and over. And again, if it's too difficult, you're just gonna lift up and down. It's still a workout. It's still challenging. Then we're gonna go to our abdominals. You're gonna have a seat and your knees will be bent. Heels are on the floor, and you want to sit up nice and tall. Now to get you into this position, I first want to talk you through it. Start with your hands behind your thighs. Don't use it for help, just let them support there. Lean back, feel those abdominal muscles contract a little bit, and your arms are maybe about straight. Then if you can, lift them up. Relax the shoulders, belly button tucked in. You're going to follow your arm with your eyes. So you're going to turn, open the one arm up, come to the center, reach out to the other side and center. So you'll inhale as you open, exhale, contract, come in. Inhale, open, exhale, come in. Inhale, open. As you open and follow that hand, you're using those abdominal muscles, the oblique muscles. So you'll do your 40 seconds and your 20-second break. Then we have moving dead bug. And this is another one you can use weights for if you'd like. What I would recommend if you're going to use a weight, hold on to one and place it between your hands. Your feet are going to come up. So in dead bug pose, your knees are right over top of your hips. The feet are lifted. Take that belly button, tuck it in. Think about embracing those abdominal muscles. Arms reach up. So we are nice and active in the abdominal area. Now, if we are not using the weight, the movement is the same. One leg extends as both arms come out. Exhale, come in. You'll switch legs. Exhale, come in. So inhale, reach. Exhale, contract and lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract and lift. Now, extending the leg lower to the floor is uncomfortable on your back. You're going to keep the leg higher. You can still do the arms. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come in. So the lower your feet go to the floor on that extension, the more challenging it will be. But you can modify it to whatever range you need. And again, if we're using that dumbbell, tummy in, breathe, inhale, open, exhale, come in. Inhale, open, exhale, coming in. And then you'll take your break and move on to your second round of those. Remember to warm up for like 3 to 5 minutes. All this is in the blog. Make sure you warm up a little bit. Get the body moving, get it warm, get your muscles warm. Maybe just go through some of the exercises a little bit without any weights. And then stretch afterwards. And I wish you all a fun workout and a great new year. Keep it going.